Racing. If you're lucky enough to experience the thrill of it, it will get in your blood and consume you. There is no feeling in the world like hanging onto a speeding collection of steel frame, rubber, and mechanical genius at the absolute limit and battling it out on track with other determined competitors. What makes a driver? What is the common thread that runs through this field of risk-takers who believe they can reach the top? I'm Cadence Presley, a 12-year-old racing driver with a dream of winning the Indy 500. I'm here to crack the code by talking with dreamers like myself who are driven to chase the impossible dream. To be the best. This time on Head to Head, we talk to a determined young racer and engineering student. Jack Armstrong fell in love with racing at a very young age, and with the help of his parents, competed in the mini Rotax class in the Colorado Karting Tour, eventually competing and winning nationally at Challenge of the Americas and becoming 2019 champion in the most stacked field in the Colorado Karting Tour, the LO206 Lights class at the minimum age of 15. These days, Jack is just starting college at the Oregon Institute of Technology and serving on an IMSA pit crew with Capstone Motorsports and the number 11 Skillsoft Mercedes. Keeping the dream alive and working towards his goals, Jack is here to stay, and thankfully, he's here to talk with us today. Well, everyone, this is Jack Armstrong. He has been my buddy in racing since I was 8 years old when I started in the Colorado Karting Tour. When he was in junior Rotax, he is my first guest on the show, so welcome to the show, Jack.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so let's get started. Tell me about the early years, the beginning, the inspiration.
So when I was young, I started racing around the age of 8 or 9, I believe, when I first moved to Colorado. We looked into racing when I lived in North Carolina for 2 years. When I was around 6 or 7, we looked into racing bandoleros at the time, little short track oval cars. We never ended up committing to it just because of financial issues, and we weren't really in a place where we wanted to stay for a while, and a whole bunch of chaos. But once we moved to Colorado, started in Mini Max on a 1010 chassis, which is kind of a unique thing. It only existed for a couple years. And at the time, the 1010 chassis was kind of becoming obsolete. So I was competing against bigger chassis in Mini Max. And then the year after that, I went to a cadet chassis in Mini Max because they changed up the class specifications. And then the year after that, I went to a full-size kart in junior Rotax. So within 3 years, similar engine, but 3 different size chassis, 3 different manufacturers of chassis, actually. So that was kind of the early years of my racing career. I mean, I've always loved cars since I was very little. I think it started with the Pixar movie Cars. But yeah, I've always had little Hot Wheels. I've always built little tracks. I've always watched NASCAR. And it was inevitable that eventually I'd be the one behind the wheel at some point.
How was the support from your family?
It was good. My family is my team, and they're everything to me. I mean, they're so important, and they're so supportive of what I do. And racing's not a cheap sport. I'm sure you know. I'm sure your dad knows. But it is a sport that is, once you start, you can't stop doing it. And it's something that requires full commitment from everybody. It's long days, and everybody's there to support everybody. My dad's my mechanic. My mom is the lunch person, and she's the one who gets everything, make sure I have water when I come off the track, make sure I have my cool rag, making sure that just everybody's supported, everybody has what they need. My dad's always the one working on it. He's the one doing the business deals, everything like that. So the support from my family, if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be racing. So it's the most important thing.
Was there ever a moment where it just clicked, when everything just fell into place with your development?
That's a great question. I think Briggs, when I went from Rotax to Briggs, it really helped me because when I first started, I went straight to the fastest kart possible for my age. And I was okay when I started. I was mid-pack, you know. But as soon as I went to a slower kart and I was able to refine my skills, that's when it kind of started to click. And then a year or so after that, I drove one of my buddies' upgraded Rotax. It's faster than like even a senior max. It was upgraded, and it was an old motor that they just had lying around. They decided to bore out the piston, and exhaust was all different. It was fun. And I drove that thing, and it really clicked that I kind of had figured out how to drive a faster kart now. And since then, I still haven't driven a two-stroke kart since I drove that thing. But I've been wanting to get back into a two-stroke race. I had a vague opportunity to drive a buddy's shifter, but it never worked out. But at some point, I want to get back into a faster go-kart because I want to test my skills. But I think definitely going back into a slower kart really helped my racecraft and just driving in general.
What stands out so far as the most memorable experience for you in racing?
Oh, another great question. Kind of back to that two-stroke, we called it the Super Max because, you know, there's Junior Max, Senior Max. We called it the Super Max. That was a special kart to drive. It almost felt like it had a turbo with that because it would just blah, and then the power valve would open, and you would just get kicked back in your seat, and you would just go. And I'll never forget driving that kart because it was on old, I think it was Vega Blues or Invico Blues, sorry.
Wow.
So it was old tires. They were not great tires, and it was just all over the place, just slide, and probably 30, 40 horsepower, 60, 65 miles per hour down the back straight at IMI. Like, that thing was special to drive. Besides that, I think both endurance races have been really special to me. It's allowed me to realize that endurance racing is where I belong in racing. The first one I did at Action was special because I was 2 laps down from second place, and I caught 2 laps in an hour and a half.
Wow.
That was fun. And IMI was special for different reasons. I don't know, I'm not gonna necessarily bring that up, but it was special because it kind of bookended a long-running rivalry I had, shall we say. So, yeah, I think both endurance races and driving the Super Max on the old tires, and only rear brakes too. So it had the power of a shifter, only rear brakes on Invico Blue
No
tires.
front brakes.
No front brakes.
That reminds me of when I was driving the Junior Max on the Cadet chassis, which didn't happen too long ago. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I remember I drove similar to that. I forgot I actually did that, but it was at Action. I drove a Junior engine on a Cadet chassis, and it's similar to a Super Max. It's all over the place, slide, but it's so much fun to just drive.
So where do you see yourself in the future in 5 years or 10 years?
Well, I think realistically, I would like to be a commentator for racing as a realistic goal, because it's just the step up from karting to cars in terms of cost is just astronomical. I think I have the work ethic, and I have the potential skill and the potential ability to race cars. If I'm ever given the opportunity, I would absolutely take it, no questions asked.
100%.
But I think realistically, being either a mechanic or ideally a commentator for racing is where I'd like to be.
That sounds awesome. Now it's time for the rapid fire questions round. Favorite word?
Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. Driver you'd most like to beat, past or present?
Jim Clark.
Unlimited budget, what's the first car you would buy?
Lancia Stratus.
What job would you suck at?
Customer service.
Do you play any instruments?
Used to play the drums.
Cats, dogs,
Dogs.
pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Any hidden talents? Oh my God.
Other than that, not really.
How many marshmallows can you catch in your mouth consecutively?
Maybe one.
All right, let's find out. All right. All right, get ready.
Okay.
1. Fail. All right, you got one more chance,
One
man.
more. Redemption shot.
All right, guys, now it's time for the head-to-head challenge where me and Jack have 3 laps that's older, and we're going to drive the F3 car and see who wins.
I would have practiced if I would have known.
You ready to go head-to-head?
Of course.
All right, guys, Jack is going first for the head-to-head challenge. Let's see how he does.
Here we go. 5 laps. You got warm-up, we got the out-lap warm-up, and then 3 heaters. There will be a ghost car. That ghost car is Cadence's theoretical lap. So if I can beat that, then I will for sure beat him. But of course, that's a theoretical on a perfect lap on a perfect day. I'll be happy if I get into the 125s. As you can see, I've run a couple laps so far. 125.904 is my best. I've had splits for a little bit faster than that. We're in the F3 car, right, Cadence? Yes, F3 car. Dallara F3, custom setup. iRacing obviously is the sim. Sim magic wheel. and the Extreme Sim cockpit. First time using it, I really like it so far. Yeah, warm-up lap. Just gonna try not to wreck it is my goal. If I can make it through all the laps without wrecking, I'd be decently proud of myself. All right, here we go. First flying lap. And I've immediately ballsed it up. Can't decide if I want to stay in 5th there or not. Yeah, I think 6th might be better. All right, opening lap, 26.3, not horrific, but not great. Yeah, 6th is definitely better up into here. Yeah, that was too much curb on entry. Well, I got 1 lap to get a good lap in. Here we go. Pressure's on, eh? The 26.3 isn't bad, but I want to get 25s. I know I can do it. It's the pressure of doing it in only a few laps. What's getting me. All right, last lap, here we go. Best opener of them all. Only lost half second so far. Missed my apex there, but I had a good exit. Good chicane. This chicane's where I've been struggling all day. And nail it this time around, at least to the best of my ability. Still lost time to the ghost car. Across the line, 25.2. That is by far the fastest lap I've run. I'll take that.
That is good.
All right.
That is good.
I could go faster, but I am satisfied with that lap time. We'll run it from there. Hopefully Cadence doesn't beat me, but you guys will see that next.
All right, guys, it is my turn for the head-to-head challenge. Jack did really, really good, especially for his basically first laps with this kind of combination of car and track. It was really impressive. He might actually beat me. So we got an out lap, a warm-up lap, and 3 hot laps. Oh, okay. Tokyo Drift, what was that? The Sim Magic Wheel feels so good. Every time you dip down on a curb or hit one of those, you feel everything. If someone closed their eyes and went over a curb, they could draw it. You don't need a full motion sim with a Sim Magic Wheel. You got the Sim Magic Wheel. Okay, first hot lap. Here we go. Oh, that was an okay lap. What did I get? 124 flat. I still got 2 laps. That's a better lap. There we go. That is a 1:23.6. Oh, I got loose there. Okay, we're going full bomb mode. All right, that was the final lap. Honestly, I was full sweat mode during that. I was full sweat.
Absolutely kicked my butt, that's for sure. Still kicked
You spent 20 minutes, no, not less than 20 minutes practicing, and you were only a second and a half off of me.
Still kicked my butt.
He did really good. I'm really proud of him. I did win the head-to-head challenge. I'm pretty proud of that. 1:23.6 was my best lap. Thanks, Jack.
Of course.
Good race.
I had fun. I'm thankful for this opportunity to be out here, and I really enjoyed it. Cadence kicked my butt.
If he practiced more, he would have been really close. Or better. Thanks for watching Head-to-Head with Cadence Presley. Thanks, Jack, again for being on the show.
Of course.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.